Hello, how's everybody doing today? Got a lot to cover today, you guys. So I want to start out with a little clip from Michelle After Dark. I'll be including the link to this video in the description. I just want to play a little portion of it and we'll discuss. Then we'll go into statistics. And then I'm going to bring you something that changed my whole plan. And I had to scrap the video that I had started recording and start redoing it to bring this to you guys. You'll see. We're just going to go through.
Walked out of the back door. The sheriff. 3 other children were present in Summerwell's home when she reportedly walked out of the back door, the sheriff tells me. He said the report came from Wells' siblings.
She was last seen out.
That is not the storyline that we have been fed since day one, you guys. Yada, straightening grandma's knee brace. Go downstairs, look. This is a whole difference. If you that he had been told that the boys said, not other family, not email. The boys said that they were outside playing hide and go seek. Now, when we go back to this statement, and I'm hoping it's not going to echo. When she reportedly walked out of the back door, the sheriff tells me. He said this report came from the Wells siblings. So what we can infer from this statement on the screen is that Ronnie Lawson told the reporter that one of the boys said she walked out of the back door to play. Which is the exact opposite of everything we've been told. We were told she was in the house and that's where she just poof got gone from. We were told, and let me back up to that part. If, as we have been told, the boys were inside at the table, either watching something on YouTube or playing a video game, whatever. We've all seen that house. We've seen where the front door is, the back door is, where the TV was they were watching, the table and chairs that they were sitting in. Tell me how from that angle you can see the back door. I'll wait. If this statement from Ronnie Lawson to Bianca Morales, if that's a correct quote, there's no way that when Summer came up missing, those boys were inside on TV or the sibling that made that statement. Could they been outside playing hide and go seek? Abso-freaking-lutely. More than likely. With that statement. And another thing that's bothered me, I'm just going to go ahead and put it out there. When Mom and Grandma had the conversation and decided to plant the flowers, allegedly, according to their timeline, Summer was sitting in the kitchen floor playing with her toys. She goes outside, she plants flowers, she gets tired of planting, she washes her hands, she gets her candy. Helicopter Mama walks her over to the door and in to the kitchen. Tells the boys to watch her. When she comes back, Helicopter Mom says the boys told her Summer went downstairs to play with her toys. My question is, why would any human being choose to gather up all their toys and carry them down there to that dim, dark, depressing dungeon of a bedroom when they already had their toys upstairs in the kitchen floor playing with them? Just one of those questions that runs through my mind. I have crazy questions that run through my brain all the time. I still am gonna upload and do my video, by the way, on part 2 of Chris's video. I just read upon some things that to me were more urgent to get out there. Okay, we're gonna let a little bit of this continue to play, not much, and we're gonna move on to some statistics that I promised you guys to compile as far as RSOs in the Rogersville area compared to surrounding areas. Even though we have certain expectations, I still think you're gonna be shocked. And stick around to the end, because if you don't and you're really here for this case, you're gonna kick your own ass. Just so you know. Stick around to the end, because this last video that I'm gonna play, the last thing before we discuss and roll on, is enough to predicate a live later tonight. Is enough that I expect you'll see. I don't have words. Thank you. My only words I do have are thank you, September Virgo, for showing your loyalty and put me there. When I get to that point, September, you're going to understand why. Because I reached out and made some contact. But anyway, let's finish watching this little bit. And thank you to Michelle After Dark and Michelle Walks. Guys, make sure you subscribe to both our channels. Excellent content. Very, very analytical, logical thinker. Love her content.
Summer Wells' home when she reportedly walked out of the back door, the sheriff tells me. He said the report came from Wells' siblings.
She was last seen outside of her home in the 100 block of Ben Hill Road, which is located in the Beach Creek community of Hawkins County. A family member reported her missing to the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office at approximately 6:30 Tuesday evening.
From what my wife has told me and stuff, her and her mother and Summer were planting flowers by her grandma's trailer, which is about 20 feet from the house, or real close to the house. Summer all of a sudden said, "Mom, I want to go in the house." So she said, "Fine." And her brothers were in there watching YouTube. And so she watched her walk in the door and went in there. And then she went in there and her brother said that she was going to go downstairs and play with her toys. So she went downstairs and then Mom come in and says, "Where's Summer?" Well, she's downstairs playing with her toys. And she had to holler for her and there was no answer. So she went downstairs and she was nowhere to be found. She went out the basement door. The door was unlocked. But she's never left there. She might be on the other side of the house because I went out there before and called for her. And she come out from behind the house because she just has to be outside. She's outside type of person, you know.
We have spoken with her a couple of times. I reported something that she told our crews this morning as well. She said that, she went inside to do something, came back out, checked on Summer a couple minutes later, and next thing you know, she was gone.
Outside. She's outside type of person, you know.
We have spoken with her a couple of times. I reported something that she told our crews this morning as well. She said that, she went inside to do something, came back out, checked on Summer a couple minutes later, and next thing you know, she was gone. Both of her parents say that they believe someone abducted her. They have both said that. However, they say that Summer also is never it's not like their child would just walk away.
Me and my mother and her were planting flowers. And we went in after we got done washing our hands, and she got a piece of candy from Grandma, and she wanted to go back over and see her brothers. And I said, okay, and I walked her all the way over to the porch, and I watched her walk into the kitchen where the boys were watching TV.
And afterwards, when she was already in there, I walked over and said, quiet. And he looked at me and I said, watch this, I'll be right back. And that's when I walked back over to my mom's.
Okay.
And I was fixing her brace and stuff like that. And I said, well, Mom, I gotta go back over to the kids. And that's when I come back up into the house.
And I asked the boys where their sister was, and they said, she went downstairs, Mom, to play with her toys in the playroom. I said, okay.
Went over here like this. So this is where the stairs are.
Okay.
It's actually down.
I want y'all to look at this picture, specifically where the clothes are all pushed back. Where's Summer's clothes? Where'd Summer's clothes go? Now remind you, this is not a current video. This is a playback of like 2 weeks, 3 weeks after Summer went missing. And Candace does her interview with Chris McDonough. Or at the beginning of this rack, all the way back. And they're now gone. Where's Summer's clothes at? How you do that quickly is my question. Watch the last little bit of this. Then we're going to go into some stats. And I'm going to take a chance with this next video. I may not even stop it. Because they're saying they want it out there. It's a news organization. And you'll see. I hope they don't strike me in any way. But I want to share it. I want you guys to share it. I want this info out. First of all, let's finish this and get through the stats. But it is a local, to me, news agency as well. So
under there.
Oh, down into her
Down into
bedroom.
our bedroom, and then hers is on the other side.
Oh, okay, in the basement.
Yeah, in the basement.
And I yelled downstairs for her a couple times,
It's Summer. And she didn't. I listened for a minute. I didn't hear nothing.
which was unusual because usually she always answers me. And so I went down there to check, and she was nowhere in sight. She was just gone. And take her. And
Again, that was Michelle After Dark. It's the name of the video is Candace was inside when Summer got gone. Question mark, exclamation mark. More discrepancies in the Wells timeline. Go check that out. She makes a lot of great points. So I didn't want to share more of the video than I did, because I want you guys to be able to discern. Let's see if I still have this picture pulled up. I want y'all to remember house. Y'all know it's got little toys for evidence either. Point, I'm very much leaning on the side of TBI and FBI got some things up their sleeves. You guys gonna see why I feel that way. But seeing those discrepancies that Michelle just pointed out for us in her video made me think, when Chris McDonough was on the porch and he was interviewing Allie and her friend Leslie before he interviewed the son, the minor child, she was telling about what Candace told her that morning, the early story, before it had a chance to be tweaked and stuff. And she said Candace told her that they had been planting flowers outside up next to the house. I say something about that because of this picture that I have that came from a Facebook Messenger thing. And it's somebody talking about planting flowers beside the house. Doesn't matter whom it is. I want y'all to look at this. Do y'all see fresh dirt and flowers? And is this the Wells house where the siding is? Those are my questions about this photo. I want your thoughts and opinions. In my opinion, even the original story, as according to Allie, backs up the fact that somebody got some explaining to do. Somebody wasn't watching diligently enough. Hence, maybe why we get the helicopter parent in the beginning, because they know that there was some deficiencies in the way that they chose to care. Now, on Ogden, Utah, and surrounding cities. So now, let me show you that same type of statistical data for Rogersville, Tennessee, and surrounding areas. strap on y'all seatbelts, y'all, because this is the point of the show where we take a turn and it becomes a bumpy ride. Okay. Get access to it and generate statistical reports and analysis. Some things are readily compiled, some things they have to do. It just depends. In the middle of saying this, let me say something. I need a mathematician that specifically works with probabilities and statistical analysis. So any of you sunshines out there, please get at me. And just something I recommend that you guys watch, TV show, I believe it was aired by CBS many years ago. It's on a couple of the free networks out there available through your Roku TVs. It's called Numbers. The specific show, Numbers, the name of the specific episode to watch is called In Plain Sight. It was very interesting, especially the parallels in this case. You know, there was a kidnapping. There were pictures with overlays and pixels and such that, bottom line is, there were pictures with overlays that had children in the background that you could not see and would never guess if you weren't looking. It was just that episode was very telling about certain factors. It even gave a specific name that, according to the TV show, law enforcement uses when describing these layers in these pictures. But I digress. City data. According to our research of Tennessee and other state lists, there were 52 registered sex offenders living in Rogersville as of January 25th, 2022. The ratio of residents to sex offenders in Rogersville is 86-1. That means that for every 87 people you see or that reside in Rogersville, one of them is an RSO. Now, that's registered. Remember that. How many are not registered, have never been caught by law enforcement? That's a scary thought there. A little bit of comparison. Rogersville, Tennessee, 1,080. Then we get to Rogersville, 86-1. Sneedville, 61-1. And Bulls Gap, 47-1. Let that marinate for just a second, y'all. I mean, just looking at it, the average is going to be around 330, 340 range in that area. It's crazy. See what it actually says about it. Out of every 87 people you meet is an RSO. Hawkins County is 1 out of every 443 people you meet. The state of Tennessee is 1 out of every 329 people you meet. The state of Tennessee is about equal to the average of all those counties. Hawkins County obviously has a lower population per capita than of RSOs than the average for the state of Tennessee. But Rogersville, which is in Hawkins County, seems to have a very high concentration. Not a lot of mileage separating these individuals. And again, I'm assuming these are RSOs. They're SOs that have never registered nor been caught to need to register. That, to me, is scary. I just found them interesting. 65 residents in all of Rogersville are foreign born outside of Rogersville. In Rogersville, it's 1.4% of the residents weren't born there. For the state of Tennessee, it's 5.1%. Just for clarification. We got the median real estate property taxes, 2019, 1,250. 2019 housing units without a mortgage is just $10 difference. The next nearest city with a population of 50,000 plus is going to be Johnson City. It's 35 miles away. My bad. Nearest city with a population of 200,000 or better is Fayette, Kentucky. And nearest city with population of 1 million plus is Chicago, Illinois. Now, I'm going to bring this up because there's been a lot of talk about Candace, the rebel flag, and certain other things that we see. Remember the video that was made by the neighbor about the KKK and all that too. So, races in Rogersville, Tennessee, as of 2019. The purple is represented as being the white population. What looks to me to be kind of an olive green color is the African American population, 3.4%. Then you have the pink area you can barely see. That is the American Indian population, which is 0.1%. And then this breaks it that you have now present. All right, and this is just showing more the 0.6 hundredths of a percent. So many of y'all into the makeup of Hawkins County. Now, in the Asheville, Buncombe County areas of North Carolina. So, to me, they're homegrown and right along because you'll see and we'll discuss, I promise. Sorry about that. I had organization in this video and information. We go.
And then we did another video.
Here we go.
It, and then we did another video, and then we ended up finding out some more information, and then we went down to the area and did a little on the information that we found. We started digging up a little bit more stuff, and let me just, I don't know how to say this to everybody, but Skyline's a little bit different, and I want it to be. You see these national news medias come out in here to Rogersville, which is just an hour away from here, hour and a half away, just right below Kingsport, Tennessee. You see these news reports, and they are so generic. They are just basically da-da-da-da-da, dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. This is what happened. But one thing that we noticed here at Skyline is that nobody that is a neighbor of the area or anybody that even lives there in Rogersville would go on television and be interviewed.
Did I not say something about that months back, by the way, on how we're the neighbors? Forget your bad. It's me, and please, stay tuned, because I want you to watch this news report. This is Skyline News. Please watch this news report and let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about this reporter, about everything they have to say. Please.
Nobody. As a matter of fact, I didn't see in any of the newspaper articles, we did not see anybody that was interviewed from the family, or I'm sorry, not the family, but from like neighbors or friends of the family, or just anybody in the area. And why is that? Well, we've been there twice now, and the whole area, let me see if I can explain this to y'all. If you're from Buncombe County, the area is like the Sandy Mush area, okay? And in Sandy Mush, everybody knows everybody in Sandy Mush. Even in Lester, we all pretty much know each other out here. And it's a small knit community, okay? And in the Sandy Mush area, that's what this place kind of looks like, all right? But there's a little bit of difference here. In Sandy Mush, we all know each other. Anybody can tell you who's selling drugs at that house and who's selling drugs at this house. Don't act like y'all don't know that doesn't happen, because you do. Those of people in Sandy Mush know that kind of crazy stuff goes on at particular houses in the neighborhood. Just like we know your neighborhood on what's that, McKinnish Cove Road. We get calls all the time from this one particular place, from all the neighbors on McKinnish Cove Road. I'm sure the sheriff's department does too. And when we look back at the incident reports, they're all from that one house. It's because drugs were sold there. And so everybody knows what's going on, okay? Same thing in Rogersville, but it's a little more scarier than that. It is not just one house in the neighborhood that's selling dope. It's not just one house in the neighborhood where this guy's beating his wife. It's not just this one house in the neighborhood that's got a whole kennel.
I pause right here because I want to call attention to something. While he's saying this, I want you to recall Ronnie Lawson in his nice leather chair behind his desk saying that there wasn't a drug problem on Ben Hill. But there's one way in and one way out, and that it wasn't known to be a high drug traffic area, not any more so than anywhere else. Remember that part. And personally, the one way in and one way out, it's not that huge of a deal. I mean, I can think of 2 different towns that they probably busted the largest pretty much drive-through of a specific type of drug, early 90s. And both places were one way in, one way out. One of them had a turnaround at the bottom to a nursing home that had shut down. I only know about it because of a friend of mine in law enforcement speaking about what occurred and the danger they were in, but I digress. I just remember Ronnie Lawson sitting behind that desk and saying there wasn't a huge drug problem. And that there wasn't any more. I'm trying to think exactly how he worded it. Something to the effect of it's one way in and one way out there. It's not a huge drug den and this, that, and the third. Remember that when you hear this man telling you how it really is there. And remember, I'm not arguing with what he's saying because I have been there in that town and seen what he's talking about. Not everybody, and you'll hear him quantify that and say, not everybody. But there's always that select few, you know, that one rotten apple.
Full of dogs, and they're just, you know, they shouldn't have that many dogs, and it's just like 100 dogs at a small little dwelling, you know, that kind of place. It is mess central in Rogersville. That is, I would say that's got to be the number one money-making thing is meth. And it is, but again, it's like it is in the Marshall area. Now, there are good people there, don't get me wrong. It's like the Sandy Mush area. There's great people, okay? But out there is great people too. Rogersville is, and it's but there's God, I can't stress to you how much meth is out there. Now let's talk about the sheriff's department. Now the reason I'm giving you the background on this is so you can see where I'm going and what we found out toward the end, okay? You remember in Madison County, y'all tell me, y'all remember Mr. Ponder, the sheriff down there? What was his name? E.Y. Ponder? Y'all remember that guy? Somebody tell me you do. Somebody tell me that, because back in the days of Madison County politics, you can pretty much get away with anything. There are elections in Madison County, and everybody knows this, and this has been talked about for several years. In Madison County, the elections down there would make the 2020 election look like a
I'm pausing right here because I want to make a point where he's talking about the elections, and specifically in Madison County, in the area near where he lives, which is, it's basically halfway between where I live and Kingsport. So my point to that is, if you'll remember, earlier on in the case, we were talking about a constable for the Rogersville area. and how he won the election by one write-in vote to pull people, the drug dog. You guys,
or you went to go see Ponder or something along those lines. Okay, it's not like that anymore. To some people it probably would be, but it's nothing like it was. Trust me. I mean, there was to be the DMV fiasco. Just Google DMV Marshall, North Carolina, and put scandal. That's all you got to do. And several years ago, there was a DMV scandal where they were giving me and the DMV for your car. So you get your opinion. It is an opinion show here, but I'm going to show you some facts here in a minute. In my opinion, that's how it was. Danielle, see Danielle there. But yeah, did not have a problem. Most want to turn themselves in because he got them. It would be bad. Well, he's talking about something else. But nevertheless, he was down there with me when we saw all that. People in that community, and we could not have found what we found without those good people. But again, I stressed to you, there's a reason that nobody is going on television about it, and nobody is speaking to have it recorded into a press book. And it's because of all the meth that's going around down there. It is so...
You hear what he just said? You know, I've been asking this for months now in this case. Why? And this is prior to Jody Sue coming out. Why are we not hearing from any of the neighbors? Where are the people that saw Summer every day and her parents?
Down there in that area. Bad. There's some mean people down there in that area. And so anyway, we had the opportunity to meet a young man, and I've got a message for that young man at the end of this here, and I'll share it with you. But that young man had a story to tell, and he told me
Sorry to pause again, but I'm going to interject for a second. Who the young man is that shared the story and why they shared it the way they did.
And let me right out there in his driveway after we were told to go see this person. And let me remind you, you've been looking for a red Toyota truck Tacoma with a ladder rack in the back of it, right? With some ladders in the back of it. We were told to go see this person, and we spoke with this person. And this person said that we should go to the horse pond, and he said that he spoke with Don Wells, which is the father of Summer Wells, approximately 3 hours is what he said, after she was gone missing. And that Mr. Wells had concerns about his daughter, but he talked about a book and talked about a sacrifice, okay? A sacrifice. That's what this man told me. So this is firsthand. He says he spoke with him directly 3 hours. Then he tells me as a reporter. And I say this as a reporter because that's important here in just a minute. So he goes on and says, you need to go check out the horse pond. And I said, where is the horse pond? He says, it's at Warrior Path. And that is kind of like a state park kind of thing where families go. They go horseback riding. They go in the lake out there and ride around and swim and so forth. He said that Summer Wells drowned at that horse pond. And when she drowned at that horse pond, the mother was upset about it and freaked out, and it was an accident, okay? And in that accident, they brought the body home. Apparently nobody wanted to know anything was going on. That's what I got. And I asked that man that. Is that what you're saying? Nobody wanted to know? They didn't want anybody to know what was going on? He said yes. So he goes on and he says, I would go check the last construction site that Mr. Wells worked at. And I said, okay, do you know where it is? He says, no. I said, okay. And he was very adamant about it. He's no, just no. And that was it. And so I called around, and some neighbors that were in the area told me where Mr. Wells worked at, and it was for a Tucker building company. And I called Mr. Roger Tucker, who is the owner of that building company, and Mr. Tucker told us that he did work for him. He is no longer working for him, and that he would not answer any of our questions about where that construction site is, but that he confirmed that he is working with the FBI and the TBI in regards to this entire incident. So with that said, we didn't know where else to go. We couldn't take our investigation anyplace else. We could not go to the construction site because we weren't told where that construction site was, and nobody else would tell us that. Okay, so this would be the construction site that the dad of Summer Wells worked at, and we've been trying to find that out. Maybe somebody on here can tell us.
Real quick, I just want to interject and say I did message this news organization and this gentleman specifically to let them know to contact me, that I could fill in some gaps for them and give them some information. As we all understand, I believe the Meadows is that location that they're speaking about. We know allegedly from this case that that's where Dawn was working that day. If you guys think what you've heard so far is interesting, honey, we have not even begun to scratch the surface of what you're about to hear. I just want to say thank you to Skyline News and to September Virgo for pointing me in their direction. They've got several other videos out dealing with this case, and I'm in the process of watching them now, but I had to share this with you guys. It's you're gonna see. Again, guys, right now I'm trying to come up with the rest of the money I need to make my car payment and pay back someone that gave me a loan.
But the other thing is that the horse pond itself, there was some confusion about where the sheriff's department actually went in with their scuba gear and was looking around. The horse pond that we were told, and we got it confirmed through the park ranger that was there, that the horse pond was below the stables. There's another area that they may have called the horse pond at some point, but where those sheriffs were is not what they call the true horse pond. The true horse pond is underneath the stables, just in the same parking lot. And you're going to see that here shortly. The other thing that one of the neighbors told us here at Skyline is that the grandmother who lives in a camper up there on the upper side is the one who is very, very concerned about what's going on and wants the daughter to tell the truth. The 50B that was put out on the father of Summer Wells was by the grandmother, not the mother. it was by the grandmother. And we've got that, and we'll show it to you here. So I'm going to show you a little bit of a video that we kind of changed around here, and then I'm going to have a message for somebody here. And I think this might work out, because the person that I spoke with, to my understanding, has a record. This person has warrants out for their arrest. This person is a felon. This person has some meth. This person doesn't look like they're on meth, but they might have sold meth. You see what I'm saying? And there are warrants out for this particular person. So I'll have a message for that person here in just a minute, but I'm going to show you a video. I want you to see the lay of the land. I want you to see what's happened in the past. Now, most of you have been following this case, have seen the house up close, not on the inside, but from where reporters were able to go up the driveway and see the house that Summer Wells lived in. There's no trespassing signs all over the property now, so we can't go on that property. But from the road, we can shoot video, and that's what this is. You're getting ready to see. You're going to see some blue things that are out front and the bottom of their driveway that says put packages in them. And
just want to let you guys know, when they show the footage of the house that they took, you won't hear any sound. I have muted it so that I don't get copyright struck for the music they played in the background.
And that looks like Amazon or whoever comes would put those in there. That's what those are. It's like just a container for packages. And then you're going to see a school bus up there. I don't know what that's about, unless somebody in that family's bought an old school bus, but it looks like it's just been parked up there forever. You're going to see the grandmother's camper. You're going to see, and if the grandmother will contact us, we'd love to talk to you. Love to talk to you. But if you're also going to see the horse pond, okay? And it'll spell it out for you right there at the bottom. You're going to see the water area. You're going to see a culvert. And I'm telling you, I'm in stormwater management, and that culvert is stopped up. I think somebody needs to look at it. I think somebody needs to look at, I'm just shooting straight with you. I think there's an article of clothing that's there. Don't know if that has anything to do with anything or not. But from what I'm told, nobody from the sheriff's department has gone down there to see that. And I'd like to know why. Furthermore, the information that we have to give to the sheriff's department, they haven't returned our calls. And we've called them 3 times now. And nobody from the Hawkins County Sheriff's Department has reached back to Skyline News. I also want to ask the other reporters that have looked at this thing, and you've done a great job, but I think you should tell everybody why nobody wants to go on camera, because everybody's scared to death out there. They don't want people to know everybody's business. They're afraid somebody's going to come back and do something to them, okay? Even though that this is possibly an accident, but it's possibly that the parents didn't want anybody to know that they were going to have their kids taken away from them, which the boys have been taken away, but that was after Summer was missing. So that's what's going on. Somebody said they don't want people poking around. You're exactly right, Danielle, and you're exactly right. In looking for people, we found at least 18. Somebody said one of our people said we found actually 22. We found 22 people in the past 2 years here. Just when we see the sheriff's department or whatever put up something online that says, can you find these people? We're missing, you got missing people, then they're not asking us to, but we'll report it out to you good people. And when we report that, we start putting 2 and 2 together, and the family will call us and tell us what's going on. And we've been able to find them. But what we found on the smaller children, a lot of times there are a kid that would get hurt. They're not dead or anything. They would get hurt. They came from a broken family, not a good family at all. A lot of stuff going on in the family, drugs, excuse me, felonies, stuff like that. and the warrants on certain people in the household, and they don't want cops, so they're snooping around on a lot of stuff. But we've found that things were actually happened by the parents or somebody in that household when it comes to smaller children, and they'll put out something that I can't find my kid, and they actually just ran away. But the reason they ran away was for something of bad stuff, so they were being abused, and they didn't really want that out there, but yet they thought they better go find their kids, and that's what happened. So we find that happens quite a bit in these investigations. So anyway, I'm going to show you the video. I want you to pay close attention, all you internet sleuths out there. See if you see anything out of the ordinary. God knows we've looked at it 1,000 times. And this is a day's worth of stuff that we've just kind of condensed into 2.5 minutes here, because we're time constrained. But anyway, I'm going to show it to you. You take a look at it, and we're going to talk about it afterwards, okay? So here we go.
Preventing you from being able to find out certain information that usually neighbors are very forthcoming with if you pissed them off. But apparently you didn't do it enough. What you're about to see and have seen, as far as Warrior's Path goes, is 100% correct. It is the Warrior's Path entrance they were at that we held the vigil at, and that I have seen directly. They have been what nobody paid attention. For one, caring about Summer, and for two, not being afraid to tell the truth. You know, to me, it's a huge thing. Huge. No, I've not heard anybody else that's a news agency discuss this case in depth like this. Like, I was shocked because what happened to Brian Eaton? They did an interview and they dipped. Like, why? You know, he did say he did get a less than warm reception. What you think you're getting and what you actually got is two different things. They took Ziggy snipe hunting. Think about it. Remember I told y'all a story about snipe hunting? They took Ziggy snipe hunting. That's what them bones is about, y'all. Think what you want. But that's exactly what happened. From one country girl to another, telling y'all, it was just a modified form of snipe hunting. One of them pranks that seem to be prevalent in that area. Okay. Let's get back to this. By the way, y'all saw that what looks to be pink jacket hanging out there. And it's going to be addressed. I promise you. I apologize for the length of this video that I'm showing you guys, but it's well worth it. We're nowhere near done with the good part.
So that's the house. That's the horse pond. You saw the culvert. It stopped up. You saw the article of clothing. It's probably nothing. We'll see. But and I've told you what this individual has said to us. This is what he said after speaking with the father 3 hours after she was passed away, or not passed away, but missing. So I don't know. It's a strange thing, but we want to tell you, we're reporting to you what was said to us. We've tried to contact the Hawkins County Sheriff's Department. Nobody has contacted us back yet. Don't know why. We do know there's also a little bit of a rift between the Sheriff's Department and the searchers that were out there. They don't want any more questions or any more answers coming out of the search party that's giving away the $75,000 reward. Okay, so here's my deal. I want to make somebody a deal, and I think there's two of you out there. I think there's two of you out there that have felonies. I think that you have warrants for your arrest. I think that you know a little more than what everybody else knows, and I think that you could point us and law enforcement in the right direction of exactly where Little Summer Wells is. Exactly. So here's my deal to you. As a reporter, I will not tell any of my sources whatsoever Any reporter out there is just like that. And we are covered by the First Amendment on that, okay? But here's the thing. There's $75,000 out there for any information leading to finding Little Summer Wells. If you will tell us, okay, and not go through law enforcement, because I know that's not what you want to do, because you're afraid you're going to go to jail. I'll do two things for you. If you will go through us and just tell us exactly, and it's got to be exactly where this little girl is, okay, then I will sign a contract with you that when the $75,000, because I'm going to go and tell the police where they are, and then go out there and look and see, or if this little girl is there. If that little girl is there, then by telling the police department, then they will give us the reward of the $75,000. And in a contract with you and an attorney, I will give you that $75,000. That will be yours, your money. And I will also talk to the district attorney of Hawkins County and see if we can't, if he can't, do something with lowering your whatever you've got, your warrants that are out for your arrest and so forth.
Just a little clarity right quick. He's speaking to the gentleman that they met with that gave them the information they have. This guy has warrants. This news reporter and news agency are trying whatever way that they can to get this person to come forward to law enforcement if they haven't already, and to tell their story, simply because it could be a very integral part of assisting to solve Summer's case. And I think all of us can get behind that. So let's go back and finish this up
with you on that. But if see if law enforcement will work with you on that. But if you don't want that part, you want your name completely anonymous, that's fine. You're just simply giving us a tip, and we're going to give it to law enforcement. If that's it, then the $75,000 reward money is yours, and we will sign a contract to that fact. All we want is the little girl found. That's it. This has gone on long enough. It's gone on 6 months. 6 months that this little girl has not been found. A lot of people have talked about sex trafficking and so forth like this. And this, I get some, I did a little short thing on this the other night about the cornbread mafia and all that kind of stuff. I don't think that's what it is. I think it was what this person says it is. And it's possibly an accident. That's what we're hearing, an accident. And this person has kind of given us an idea of where to look, but we need to know exact. Don't just tell somebody, go down here to a state park. Go to a construction site. No, an exact location. Okay? That's my deal to you. You tell us where it's at. You can keep law enforcement out of it. We'll give law enforcement the tip. When the $75,000 comes, we give it to you. We sign that into a contract with an attorney. That's our deal. Let's see. Let me go to some questions here. Actually, let me go to some more pictures. I want your internet sleuths to look at this. Let's go. Where's the 50B? I thought I had it there, but let's go with. Here's another thing. Excuse me. Here's another possibility, okay? If somebody did, because there is so many people out there talking about this, let me come back to you. A possibility of somebody did abduct this child, okay? Which, from the person I spoke to, is not the case. But if that was, then who would you be looking for? Who would it be? Would it be somebody that knows what's going on in the household, that somebody's being abused? Just hypothetically? I don't know. Is there someone in the church that really loves little Miss Summer Wells and wants to make sure that everything is okay, and saw something horrendous going on that may have taken the little girl? I don't know. We'll see. Is there somebody that is a sex offender in the family? And the answer to that is yes. The son of Don Wells is a registered sex offender in Utah. This is this is kind of interesting. He has an address in Utah, and all registered sex offenders in the United States have to register, okay, in the state that they reside in. But the house is owned by a Donald Wesley Wells Jr. The middle name of Don Wells, the father, is not Wesley that we can find. And the junior, he would not be the junior, it would be the son. So what we can't find out, but what we were trying to is whose house is that house that Summer Wells lives in? Whose name is it in? Is it the father or is it the son of that? And if it's the son, he's registered in Utah, but could he have come back over here? I don't know. But he's a registered sex offender. There's a house just up the street that struck us funny, okay? And that's where I need some internet sleuths here. It just struck us strange. And those of you that live in that area, I want you to look at that, because some of you have told us that there's something very strange about that house, and law enforcement needs to look at that. I don't know if law enforcement has looked at that or not, and they're not going to tell anybody, us, on an ongoing investigation. But from the neighbors that are around there, they say no, it has not been investigated or looked at. Now, you never know. Law enforcement might show up in the middle of the night while everybody's asleep. But I'm going to show you that house. And I'm going to show you, here it is right here. It's just down the street. And to me, it looked sort of abandoned, but I thought it was strange because you got this old, everything's old around there, but see that blue flag out there? It looks brand hammer new, and it had a little kids thing on the end of it. And if you look in the window, that's a mannequin. A mannequin is there. Let me see if I can pull it up. There it is. I don't know. It's just kind of strange. I don't know. It's just kind of strange. We're just racking our brain. There's no trespassing.
I wanted to address something about that house. You guys can tell me if I'm right or wrong. But is that not the house that some of the pictures of were Allie and Grandma and H and all the kids and Candace are taking pictures out in front of? If it's not, it's a very similar structure. But just a question for you guys, period, really.
Signs up there, so we did not go on the property. The other area is this one. It is between that house I just showed you and the Wells home. See that yellow truck out there? That's an old Toyota Tundra or Tacoma. That's what that is. And if you look up here, there's a ladder rack up there at the top, and you see that big long ladder that's in the tree. So, and we're just kind of trying to speculate here on this one here. This is again is the horse pond down at the Warrior's Path. It's kind of like a beach area. It's where sometimes families gather if they don't want to be around a whole bunch of other families, is what the park rangers told me. And they'll kind of sit down there by themselves, and nobody messes with them down there. Here's that school bus again. We tried to find some information on that school bus, of where they've got the school bus and how long has it been up there. And apparently it's been there for a long time. But there is no registration for it on the tax listings. Let's see. Sorry. Let me come back. The other thing is this lady. She went missing in 2009. This is the sister of Candace Wells, and nobody knows where she's at. She literally just vanished, totally vanished in St. Croix Falls, Wisconsin on August 21st, 2009. That's a heck of a coincidence. Your sister's gone, now your daughter's gone. I don't know. What's the record on the father? It's this right here. Pull this up. Had domestic assault on 10/15 of 2020. It was dismissed by the district attorney. Possession of a handgun while under the influence. He pled guilty to it. He had possession of a weapon of a convicted felon. It was dismissed by the district attorney. He has a probation violation, which he's supposed to go to court for here in February. And we'll see how that plays out. Let's see if I can find something else for you. This here is the family. And she's got real short hair in this one. A lot of people in the news media thought that was just weird, okay? I don't know. I mean, I've seen little girls and boys, get mohawks and stuff like this over the years. And I mean, it's just their family does stuff like that. I don't know if that's... it's not I don't believe it a cult thing or anything along those lines, but I do I understand from their testimony that they said to a news reporter that the little boys got their hair cut like that, the mother had her hair cut like that, and the daughter wanted her hair cut like that. So that's why they all kind of shaved her head, and that's what they did. That mugshot is of Donald Wells when he got DUI just, I believe, last month for that. And here is the pictures of their driveway, and you can see the toys on the right hand side and the toys on the left hand side, and it says, on those blue things there, it says put packages here. So we take it that's where you put big packages, like if the mail brings something to you, or Amazon or whatever. This was the article of clothing that we found laying up there, and we tried to see if that matched anything that she allegedly had when she went missing. And it's just dirty. We didn't touch it. We just looked at it and wanted law enforcement to take a look at it. Let's see. A lot of people had the child sex trafficking thing out there. Believe me, that goes on. That is a huge thing across the United States, if not the world. And pedophilia is it's an epidemic, and we're going to get into that a little bit later when we deal with some other stuff that's going on in DC. But this right here, oh, there we go. Sorry. Come back to it. There is about, I'd say, 15 miles away. There is, oh, not that one. I'm sorry. There is a TA. It's a big truck stop, and there's a Dollar General just down below it, and a Family Dollar. And what we do as reporters, we go inside these places and we ask, have you seen the family here? Have you seen the red Toyota Tacoma come through with a ladder rack? None of these places said they have seen that. None of them. The Family Dollar store is the closest type grocery store around to that, to the road where Summer Wells lives. But does trafficking happen? Yes, it does, and it happens at the big truck stops. That's where they exchange. A lot of exchanges go on, according to law enforcement and the people we spoke to on a different report. But do I think that's what's happened here? No, I don't. I know a lot of you do, and what you're looking at, but we have not come to any type of conclusion like that. I can only tell you what I can only report to you what was told to us. With firsthand knowledge from what he says. He spoke with the father of Summer Wells. Let me come back to you. And again, what did he say? And what was the sacrifice thing about it? It's what he said. And he said that he had a book, and he thinks that law enforcement, if they really wanted to do something, that's his exact words, they should get that book and see what he was reading in that book. It's not that he sacrificed a child or something like that, but it was some type of thing about children get sacrificed all the time, as per children get, let's see what is exactly, children get sacrificed all the time, and it's not a something that is how would he explain that? And I wish we had it recorded when we saw him, because when we saw this guy, it was at the spare of the moment. It was at the spare of the moment. He just kind of came out of nowhere, and I decided to ask him a few questions, but we didn't have any time to pull out a camera or anything like that. And he would not give me his name, and he walked on off back up to his place, didn't want to speak to us anymore. So, but it didn't seem like, when he was talking about sacrifice, like the father sacrificed the kid, some satanic thing or something like that. It didn't seem anything like that. It was just saying that these type of things happen all the time, and he just called it a sacrifice. It's not like he wanted it to be that. He also said that he got religious on me. That's what he said. I said, religious on you? What does that mean? He said that's when he started talking about the sacrifice thing. So, again, let me come back to y'all. Now, let's see what we got. Come back to, let me scroll all the way back here, see if I see any questions that I can answer for you. We saw the inside of the house on Dr. Phil, and I didn't see that part, but I saw the interview. And what'd you guys think about that? Did you think that she was telling the truth? Do you think that he was telling the truth? I don't know. The trap door to get her to get her to her bedroom, I didn't see that. That's weird. It looked from the body people, the people look at your body motions and so forth, they were saying that she looked like she was trying to hide something. And what's the name of that girl? You're innocent until you're proven guilty. Let's put it that way. But there was a girl, I think her name was Susan Smith. Y'all refresh my memory. She killed her children, drowned them in a car. They found the car in a lake. And I remember the interview. I was watching Good Morning America, and they were talking about her, and she was doing an interview, and she had no remorse whatsoever, none. It was just stone cold, and I'm sure everybody remembers that that's around my age. She's still in jail, and I hope she stays in jail, but she killed her 2 kids. Not saying that this lady killed her child or anything along those lines. I'm just trying to go through the motions here. I did see the episode, Francella, but I didn't see the part where they went inside the house. Darla Dobbs, I heard she may have fell down the stairs leading to her room, and it's being covered up. All right, let's talk about this. There is so much stuff out here on the internet that about this case, you don't know what to believe. But I can report to you exactly what was said to us, okay? That someone said that they had firsthand knowledge. And again, we've tried to contact the Hawkins County Sheriff's Department 3 times, no return phone call. And I highly recommend the Hawkins County Sheriff's Department contact us here at Skyline. It's just amazing what goes on in these small counties. It's just disturbing, to be honest with you. Let's see. Darlene Largent says she thinks they're hiding something. Debbie McGuire, it was scary. Her bedroom is under the basement, I guess under the basement. You can enter Summer's bedroom from outside, or there was a trap door in a cabinet. Susan Smith, Union, South Carolina. Yep, that's who I was talking about. Deborah Sprouse talking about neglect. That's what, in my opinion so far, that's what I'm.
So I want to interrupt real quick because it's close to the end of the thing. Again, I just heard him mention Susan Smith. If you guys go back and look, this particular case had so many parallels to the Susan Smith case that I actually started looking into the fact that she's up for parole soon because of mentally and emotionally where the Summer case had taken me. And bringing up Susan Smith and Asia Degree's cases. Asia Degree more for saying, look at how these parents acted and are acting, as opposed to how Summer's family. And it's understand, I'm not just coming down on the family. It's not just a family. I've been making this point that this gentleman is making, and because he currently works for an agency that's a news agency, he's taken different when he says something than when I am. I don't have my current press credentials, but if I did, would I be taken differently? Would what I have to say mean more, hold more weight? It kind of seems that way. Asia Degree, because that child has been missing for almost 22 years now. Valentine's Day. But her parents literally waited nearly 20 years to move, and they were supposed to move the day after that child went missing. They were going to view a house to move. They still have a reward fund. They still have a walk for her. To draw awareness for her. Sorry, I get emotional because that case hit really close to home and hard on me. The Susan Smith case, another one that hit really close to home and really hard, I guess we don't ever expect to see mothers with that kind of action. And remember, y'all, Susan Smith gets out very soon. But like him, and I wasn't as eloquent as describing what I picked up on and what I felt, but like him, I drew parallels to the Susan Smith case because of the lack of emotion and stuff. Not saying, people jumped on me, I was never saying that I thought that something was done to Summer in that fashion. I'm just talking about the ability to emote. So let's finish up this video so I can finally get this uploaded to you guys.
But I'm running through my head here. I'm speculating. After listening to what this person said, and this person said that he has firsthand knowledge and reports this to me. After hearing that, then it falls right in line with a lot of stuff that we see yearly here at Skyline and other places where it's neglect on the parents' part, neglect on a babysitter, neglect on something, and somebody didn't do something to save that kid's life, or in this case possibly, but in other cases somebody was stoned out of their gourd and they wasn't paying attention to their kids and the kids got themselves in trouble and got hurt. And the reason that they're not saying anything to the cops is because they're going to get in trouble with the cops, because they know that they'll find out that they were stoned when all this happened, and then DSS comes and takes all the kids. You with me? That's what this is kind of, to me, is falling into here. Let's let the drain. You ain't gonna drain that big old lake. That's a big lake, but you certainly could look around with some scuba gear and so forth. My opinion, the mom's on meth, says Deborah Sprouse. If you've seen a meth addict, they are very thin. They've got pox, scratch marks all over their face where they've been pulling at their face. Their teeth are all to pieces. They're just really bad teeth. Neither one of them look like they're on meth to me. Neither one of them. They matter of fact, they may drink a little here and there, but I don't. To me, I don't see any signs, and I've seen them. I've been around these people. You know me. You've seen me in these heroin camps. You've seen me at these protests. You've seen us do all kinds of stuff out here when it deals with criminals, and I'm telling you, they don't look like they're on drugs to me. And I've been in the bar business. I know what I'm talking about. They don't look like they're on drugs. There is a slowness there. You've seen people that are just slow. I think that's what's going on. After looking at all the interviews of her, especially, it took me a while. I thought maybe that if he had been doing what that 50B said, that he had been hurting this, the grandmother said that they're scared of him and all this kind of stuff, and that's why they got the restraining order. Has he been beating on him and the kids and so forth? I don't know, but there is, when it comes to something like this and your kid's gone, I can tell you right now, I don't care how scared you are of somebody, you're going to tell what's happening. Or if not, there's something going on. I don't know. I just don't see it. Dude, 5-year-olds, I saw where that one guy, he was a talking head there, and he said 5-year-olds just don't wander off. Well, that's not true. 5-year-olds do wander off. I had a 5-year-old that Nancy and I were looking after, and it was my niece, and I literally, we were on the beach, and she was right there beside of us, and all I did was reach over to get a book from Nancy and set it down, and she was gone. And we looked down this side of the beach, and we were in full panic mode and could not find our niece, and a woman came back with holding her hand, and everybody on the beach looked at Nancy and I like we were the biggest idiots in the world, which we certainly felt like it. But it's a scariest thing ever, and you will do anything you possibly can to try to find that kid. And that's what we were doing. We had every lifeguard all up and down the beach and everything, and it was the longest 8 minutes is how long it's lasted, and it was the longest 8 minutes of that it's ever been. If you've ever had a kid, you may have lost a kid in a department store, because I can remember my mom being terrified. She lost me in Eckerd's one time, and I was over there looking at the kids stuff and the Star Wars stuff, and she couldn't find me, and then me and my buddies would be hiding behind these mirror things they had over there, and we certainly got our little rear ends lit up when we got out of the car. But it was it can scare the hell out of you if you lose a kid, and you will do everything you possibly can to try to find that child. But I don't know, there's something off here, y'all. Something off. And so my bottom line is 5-year-olds will walk off. They will do it. So but in that area, it's not like you've walked off in the wilderness someplace. There's houses around there. There's roads right around through there. Okay, they may be sporadic a little bit, but and with that search team, with 85 different groups that were there to search for that child, and the dogs and everything else, I'm telling you, somebody would have found her if she was in that area. And so something's going on here. I'd also read where one report, I think it was WLFL, Channel 14 or whatever. They said that they spoke with one of the people that was with the search and rescue, and that they had the canine units up there, the dogs that could smell, and they smelled an article of her clothing, got her scent, and they followed it down that driveway I showed you, and then it disappeared. That was it. And they could not pick up another scent from there. Melanie Elizabeth, she wrote something here. Candace was sleeping with the boy, and he was at the lake with the mom and daughter. Actually admitted in one interview that he called Summer's mom that morning and asked to hang out with them. There's a good chance the mom and the boy, underage, were messing around and didn't have. I'm not going to get into it. Stick with the facts. Stick with the facts. We got that's the only thing we can do. That's where we got so many different things going on that you see on the internet. You don't know what to believe. You've got to stick with the facts. Stick with what the investigators have found and have put out there. So anyway, so how can this person get in touch with us? Facebook Messenger. My phone number is right there. Give us a call. Text me. Anything along those lines. That's how you get in touch with us. It's right there on Facebook, what you're watching right now. Share this with everybody you can in Rogersville. If you know anybody in the sheriff's department over there, share this with them. Share it, because this is exactly what we were wanting to tell them. And just call us back. That's all. We've called, we've emailed, we've done everything except for drive over there. And I figured that we could make a phone call and you guys would call us back, but nobody has. And they're the lead investigators on this. But here's another thing. The FBI would not get involved unless something went across state lines. And that's where this son came into our mind here, the sex offender son. He's from Utah. If he was over here, is that why the FBI is looking at this? He's over in Tennessee and not Utah? I don't know. They're not going to tell us because it's an ongoing investigation. It's a law enforcement thing. But anyway, that's where we're at. All right, I'm going to let you guys go. God bless you. Pray for the family. Pray for the little girl. Pray for all those involved, and that they can find this girl quickly, no matter what's happened to her. Let's find this little girl and let's put an end to this kind of stuff. And but my deal is still open there. If you're afraid that you're going to get arrested because of something that you've done in your past, not anything to do with this, but for something that you've done in your past, and that's why you're not talking to law enforcement, trust me, finding this little girl is a whole hell of a lot more important than your own misdoings. Okay, finding a little girl, you will be answering to God, and if you will help us find this little girl. Okay, so do what's right. Contact us if that's what you don't want, or contact the sheriff's department and tell them straight up. And if you want to try to get a deal with the DA, I'm sure he'll listen. Just tell them what you know, and tell them exactly. We're not just a big area. We're over here at a state park. That's not going to cut it. Exactly where you think or we're told this little girl is. Okay? God bless you, and we'll talk to you all tomorrow.
Okay, guys. Well, in the comment section, will y'all please tell me what you think? What do you think about what this gentleman had to say and what's been told to him? Now, you'll hear him say 6 months. For some reason, they just released this. I think it says 4 days ago. Let me double check before I tell y'all fib. 3 days ago. 3 days ago. 3 days ago, they just released this information. So they've held on to it for that long. If I'm correct. Because some of the information he's talking about seems older information that we heard a while back. So why has he held on to it? It was interesting too, I thought, what was just said about the FBI only gets involved when state lines are crossed. And we know the FBI has been there pretty much since the beginning. I'm telling you guys, I think that TBI and the FBI are working way harder than we have an inkling of them doing. And I just got a gut feeling that we're going to see a whole lot of stuff happen really soon. But until then, this is Nita. You visited Nita's world. Hopefully, you'll throw me a PayPal, a Cash App, or a Venmo. Links are at the bottom of the page running across the ticker tape and will be included in the description along with the link to the Skyline News interview you just saw where he asked that we share this and continue to share it, especially with anybody from the Rogersville area. And as we have quite a few sunshines and subs from that area, we definitely are going to share it. Also, Michelle After Dark, the link to that video will also be in the description. Please in the comment section, you guys. First of all, hit that thumbs up. Give me that like, if you would, please. Watch the video from beginning to end, especially this one. It's really important because you'll miss quite a few facts and explanations of why this gentleman is saying what he's saying. Let's see. In the comment section, let me know what you think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Did you get any new information that you hadn't heard of before? Obviously, he talked to this guy probably about 3 weeks ago. This was a live stream where he just put the info out. So, for some reason, they've had to sit on it. What's your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on what this gentleman had to say, and how do you feel? We're going to have a live stream tomorrow. Going to get up my viewpoint on part 2 with Chris McDonough at the home. We may just discuss that in the live stream tomorrow instead of me doing a video. Either way, guys, please look out. Help your girl out. Hit that PayPal, that Cash App, and that Venmo. Peace, love, and light. Thank you. Again, this has been Nita, and you've been in Nita's world.